So I would like to introduce Chris Morris. Everybody's going to talk about themselves a little bit more, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and I will do my best to answer them. If we can't answer you, then we will come back to you privately with an email address if you've got any specific questions that you would like to ask Chris or Debbie during the actual webinar itself. So I will hand you over to Chris, and then we will then hand you over to Debbie, and they will do more of an introduction about themselves. But they're both brilliant people. I've worked with Debbie for a very long time now, probably about since the last Olympics back in 2012 when I first met Debbie over at Carwood Park. And I was working, wasn't in Shoe at that present moment in time, and she had probably just started Not Just Numbers back then. So gosh, it must be nearly 10 years ago now. I've known Chris for a fairly long time, from 2014. So actually known Debbie longer. Both brilliant people to work with, very knowledgeable, and I will let them blow their own trumpets, because who better to do that themselves? So I'll hand you over to Chris.
I don't think I quite have a trumpet to blow, but you know, we'll go for it anyway. Good afternoon, all. Some familiar faces in the room. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to be talking a little bit about some tools, apps, and tricks, and giving you some real takeaway today. It's going to be very value based. No sales pitch. It's literally about giving you some tips, tricks, and behind the scenes stuff about what we do here that you guys can go in, put into your own business. A little bit about me. I met Rachel, I think back in 2011, 2012. And we founded Shoe, skipped for a couple of years. We founded Shoe in 2014. We started using and developing social media strategies for business to really help them manage their own time. So very basic social media admin and management initially. We met Debbie, I think it was 2016, around that time, officially, to start working together. And Debbie's really helped us to get a grip with our numbers and to help with planning, forecasting, that kind of stuff. As we've grown, you can probably see some of the team behind us. We've got Molly in the background, gives away Molly, and Fran, hey. And we have a puppy just next to me. So if you hear any scratches, it will be the puppy on the cage next to me. Okay, so we deliver and create social media marketing and advertising strategies for business. And some of the tips and tricks and tools I'm going to share with you in the next 17, 18 minutes will be here. You'll be able to go and have a go at yourself. Some you may know, some you might not know what to do with. I'm going to hopefully give you some inspiration to go and put these tools into business. Very varied background. Again, short on time, so I'm not going to go into war and peace about me. If you want to chat, obviously you've got an email in the screen there. We can have a conversation later. Yeah, worked all over the world, and yeah, lots of different businesses along the way. Okay, let's get into it. So Shoe has been going 2014. Part of our challenging what's possible and our belief and our values is not just making money. We do more than that. For those that know us, know that we do a lot for community and charity. You'll see on the screen, as part of the Shoe brand, we genuinely want to help other people along the way. So we've got digital conference we run, we've got the Ugly Social, which is about business networking. We've got the Shoe Academy. We've helped 28, I think, students over the last 14, 15 months. And we guest lecture at Leeds Beckett as well. And then we've got Fashion Fiesta, some of you have been, which is all about raising money for charity. We, at the center, are our values, and what we do at the center to pull all this together is the social media marketing strategies and some of the stuff we're going to talk about now. Okay, so by the end of this session, I want you guys to take away a couple of things, really. Some new tips and tools and apps you could consider, and how you can maybe put them in your own business, whether you're B2C, B2B, or whether you believe in the wider sell to everybody, business to a person. I'm going to give you some tricks and tips to go and put into practice. So in chat, quick chat check. You may have come across a word jumble. Just want to get you guys chatting away. So see who can solve these two jumbled up words. Two words, they do link together. So let's have a look. See if who's going to be the fastest person to solve these word jumbles on the screen. Just want to chat check. Got a few puzzled faces in chat, like, what is this? I like to have a bit of fun at the beginning, but let's see. Yay, well done, Mark. Mark, you are the winner. Thank you very much. So for those with puzzled faces, digital transformation is pretty much at the heart of this entire thing. I don't know about you, but over the last 14, 16 months in particular, we've seen a massive shift in the way business is being conducted. More and more people are buying stuff online. More people are adapting to using apps and tools in their business. Asked me 2 years ago, would we be doing Zoom? I didn't even know about Zoom 2 years ago. Doing Zoom and live training sessions where people generally accept that it's okay to do it this way instead of in the face-to-face or the book in the training room. Digital has changed. I would anticipate that it's pushed things on about 5 years. Some of the non-digital natives we've worked with, they've really embraced the changes. They've adapted with their business, and they've really pushed their business on because they've taken the change to put tools and apps into their business to help them save time, get results thereafter. So marketing, it does say 4 Ps on there, but obviously there are more: people, product, price, place, and promotion. And I think there are a few more Ps in there. Marketing has been around forever. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the specific tools that you can put into an automated system that you can take away and embed in your business. So an automated marketing system, very simply, is once you've set it up and you've done the donkey work, for want of a better way of putting it, you can have this system working 24/7 without you running obviously you'd be taking time to monitor and measure and test and make sure the results and the return on investment is working. But once it's set up, the whole flow and the whole sequence works. It works without you being there. So imagine that from a biz dev perspective. You can have your system working while you're asleep. You can have your system working while you're on a business call, Zoom, webinar. We've got ones working at the moment as we speak. That's great. That means I've got a sales team, a biz dev team doing work, generating me leads and opportunities, or driving traffic to webinars or seminars or to blogs. It's doing the work and they're heavy lifting in the background. So if you've not come across an automated marketing system, do also take this on board. I'd encourage you to maybe draw the next couple of slides out on your piece of paper. We've broken marketing down. There's nothing new in the sun in this bit. We've simplified marketing into our own system, into our own terms. Obviously, we're focusing on social media marketing, but it applies across digital and it applies across marketing. You need some creative. You need to get people to be aware of what your product and service is. You need to then encourage them through strong visuals, strong headlines, strong copy. You need to really help them engage with your brand. That's the creative. Anything creative it sits on that for me. In the technical side, which is pretty much what we're talking about today, is how do we make the apps and the tools, the machines, the algorithm, how do we make the technical side help and enhance the creative? How do we help it use these tools to enhance what we're doing, like the system I mentioned earlier? And then the third element to everything, which is often overlooked and becoming more and more important, is the data. Big data is huge, and that's why it's called big data, I suppose. It's about what information, how is your campaign working, how is it looking, what do the actual results look like for you, and how do you make the campaign better? There are tools and tricks. Again, I'm going to show you how to do some of this. Okay, let's get into it. Just conscious on time check. Okay, so let's break it down. This is an example system we built. I'll try and talk about B2C and B2B as we go. I wanted to put into some context instead of talking about the apps and tools individually. As I go through the next few kind of five to 8 slides, I think it is, it'll take you on a bit of a journey, build it, how you could build this system right away. Obviously, there'll be a lot of work into it. I'm not going to be light. It's hard to set one up, but worth the rewards at the end. Okay, so if we take the first strand, which is all about the creative, if we have a video, if we have a graphic, if we have well-written copy, a blog, any piece of content you can imagine, we then need to put it somewhere. I'm going to use Facebook as the context for this vehicle to get the content out there. Obviously, over social channels, over marketing channels you could choose, but it will make sense as we go. I've chosen Facebook because it's got over 4 billion users and I'm really comfortable with the platform. That's what we do. So imagine that's your vehicle of choice. You've got your content, graphic, video, blog, webinar like we're doing today. We're going to go away after this session, chunk it down, break any snippets and golden nuggets into little snippets, and then we're going to push it out to content. We're going to use scheduling tools, time-saving tools, and analytics tools such as Metrical. That's the one we prefer. There are others. There are Hootsuite, there are Buffer. If you're thinking, right, I've got all this content and I want to manage it and I don't want to sat there at 11 o'clock at night posting a piece of content, these are the kind of tools you can use. Some of you may already know this. If you don't, go and do some research, because there are tons of them out there and it can save you so much time. They can give you data. They can tell you the best performing content, the time, demographics, who's actually interacting with your content. So that's where we're starting. So imagine we've got a piece of content. Some of the tools you can do to create content, if you sat there thinking, well, actually, I've got an idea, I'm really good wordsmith, but I'm not very good at the creative. Molly loves in the background, she loves Canva. When we did this prep for this, we're like, well, what tools do you actually use in day to day? Molly loves Canva because you can really bring a design to life. I've done this presentation in Canva. You can do graphic design tools, you can auto resize, you can remove images like we did at the very beginning, the backgrounds. I'll just go back a second. So like our images there, background remover, really quick and easy tool to actually snip out the background. Canva's fantastic. It's got video as well. You can use it to create content. Okay, so where do we go from there? We create some content. We've scheduled it out. It's talking. You would decide when and where the content is going to go. Let's choose Saturday at 12 o'clock. Great, I'm doing something else. Content will go out at that time. Fantastic. Okay, this is where I suppose some of you, probably few of you in the chat will have heard of tools like Zapier. Now, Zapier is a fantastic tool that allows you to integrate tools and apps and allow them to talk to each other using API keys. Now, again, using Facebook as the illustration, if we post our piece of content out, our video of our man dancing in the bottom corner, if we post that out as a piece of content on Facebook, and we're getting interactions and we're maybe doing Facebook advertising, we can then integrate with Zapier to pull off key information. So if people, for example, every time I share a piece of content, I could tell Zapier to share it somewhere else, cross-platform posting. If I'm doing ads, for example, I could, if I had lead forms, for example, or put my business development head on, if I had lead forms as the outcome of my advertising, I can generate the leads through Facebook, populate the data through Facebook, and then integrate with Zapier, and then it will move. I can then tell it where to move that information. We can move that information, for example, in this one to things like Google Sheets, Excel, other places. There are hundreds of ways you can. I'd encourage any of you that aren't familiar with Zapier to have a look at what can be integrated, but I just wanted to spark some inspiration in this 20 minutes. So imagine we've got an ad running, lead form, populate your information, integrate with Zapier. We tell it to I don't want to go into Facebook and manually get my leads every single day. I'm too busy for that. I want the information to come straight to my inbox so I can pick up the phone and give them a call as quick as I possibly can, because as anyone in sales, speed is key. You can also do this with, if you've got a WordPress website, or you've got Shopify, you've got some kind of e-com or B2C offering, you can tell it to integrate with tools and apps as well. So it's not just B2B is what I'm getting at, but I'm going to use B2B as my example. So lead form, Zapier, Google Sheets. One of the next things I can then tell it to do is talk to Facebook, Google Sheets, and then send that information into an autoresponder or an email marketing system. There are loads out there. We use SendFox, MailChimp, you probably come across, Sendinblue, Encharge, loads, ActiveCampaign. Doesn't really matter. Chances are it'll integrate with Zapier. But my point is, I want the information to go into my autoresponder, and then I want it to do a couple of things. I want to be able to set up an automatic workflow that sends them maybe 2 or 3 automatic emails that can then encourage them down the sales process, or to disseminate information or blogs or lead magnets or any kind of information I want. That can be done within most of these tools, SendFox and MailChimp. MailChimp is probably the most common one. The second thing I want it to do, so it puts them in a list, fantastic. They'll get my follow-up emails, things, information about webinars, all that kind of information that's useful, but I want that lead. One thing I can then, next step could be to integrate with Trello, and a project management tool that allows you to collect that information and move. So in Trello, I've got a pipeline set up, a sales pipeline. It automatically populates a new lead, a new inquiry into Trello, and then I can just go into Trello and move it along. Again, I want to make my life easier. I want to make it simple. So my next step is I integrate SendFox and something like Calendly or Book It Like a Boss, a calendar system that allows you to book straight into my diary, which talks and integrates with Google Calendar, Outlook, your preferred calendar of choice, obviously. But for me, this is a process I've got running at the moment. Anyone that fills in a lead form triggers that whole sequence, drop into an autoresponder, sends me an automatic email to tell me they've either booked a meeting, or they've filled in a lead form, or they've taken a key action on the website. And that way I can pick up and get in touch with my prospect nice and quick. So imagine if you're a B2C, you could integrate with your website. If you imagine you've got, how could I do this? If you've got a Facebook campaign running, Using it as an example, you could have a campaign that sends people to your website. Perhaps they don't buy the add to cart, the initiate checkout, but then they drop off. You could then build a retargeting campaign that sends them a subsequent advert. And then based off that action, you can link in with Zapier and collect that information, or move them into a buy-in, or get them into a subscription model, get them into a newsletter, so you can build up and warm that relationship from there. But most business owners, self included, this is working, this system's working in the background, great. But what about return on investment? What about, I'm going to spend time, effort, resource building something like this? Obviously, other variations are available. But what's my return on investment? What does my time, effort, resource look like at the end? Metrical will give you some data. It can link in with your website and Google Analytics. So it can tell you who's going to the website, how often the visiting pages, what pages they're going to. It can tell you the most popular time, your demographic, all that kind of stuff. That can be done metrical, Hootsuite, whatever. I've got no affiliations with any of these, just to get this out there. Beacon we use because it allows us to see the reporting, but it also allows us to do what's known as bot mitigation and bot fraud detection. So when we're building a campaign, we can identify fake traffic, bots, in other words, going to a website. We can then feed that information back through the integration into a campaign like Facebook and reduce the ad spend, or make our campaigns more effective, because we've got less bots flowing through to where we want them. That means obviously an increase of return on investment, because you've got more humans taking actions you want, whether it's B2C or B2B. Cool little tool we use in the background just to find and identify those bots. That's the system that we use. What about the future then? I know there's going to be loads of questions, so that's fine. We can tackle them at the end. So what about the future? Some of you guys will be aware of these already, some won't. But where I see the future is in live streaming, your stories, your TikToks, you're being able to showcase your business, your brand, your culture, show it live. You know, we're doing a live stream now, we're doing a live webinar now. That's live, but we can record this information and we can use it again. Ephemeral content, if those people are not sure what that is, that's content that can disappear after 24 hours. So think Snapchat, think stories. That's becoming more and more popular across business to business and business to consumer. Virtual reality, that's becoming a more and more utilized tool. It's not quite made it into day-to-day business because of the costs. Augmented reality can be used really effectively to showcase a building or property, if you wanted to show, for example. And then chatbots. Think FAQs with chatbots. You could have a chatbot installed on your website that is set up and geared to answer all those FAQs that can suck a lot of your time. You know, you might have what does my product or service do? Does it do this? What's the delivery date? What's to expect? You could have those FAQs, your 10 FAQs all queued up in the chatbot to be automatically answered on your website, on social, wherever you want it. And then you could integrate with something like Zapier, which then will pick up that conversation and notify that you've got a live customer talking on your chatbot. So you might want to hop on and engage and try and convert, whether it's B2C or B2B. So that should be about 20 minutes. I know I've covered a lot in there. Please keep your questions to the end, and we'll fire from at the end. I wanted to keep it quite pacey. So hopefully I've sparked some inspiration and giving you some tips and tricks of what you could do, maybe different ways of using tools and apps for your business. And if you've got any questions, if you want to get in touch, if you want to reach out, if you want to help with any of this, obviously these are my details. That's no more sales, that's it. My information's on there. We'll share the slides after and all that kind of stuff. Over to you, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. If you can just stop sharing your screen for me so I can, Debbie. So I'm just going to introduce you over to Debbie from the MD from Not Just Numbers, who will talk you through all the finance apps. So over to you, Debbie.
Thanks, Rachel. Sorry, I'm not as I am tech, but Zoom drives me mad. So yeah, basically, I'm Debbie from Not Just Numbers. We have been going for, let me just jump on and get something half decent. Who am I? MD of Not Just Numbers. We are a small but perfectly formed digital accountancy practice in Leeds East. We have been Xero Gold Champion partners for nearly 10 years. So I find it quite difficult that people are still just going digital now when we've been doing it for 10 years, but we're here to help, and we're still trying to help other accountants as well become more digital. And as you can see, I'm really, really passionate about this stuff. We've seen massive transformations in people's businesses by getting on board with the cloud. So I am 100% a systems geek. Xero for me every day of the week, and I am a complete app crazy bird. So I'm a management accountant. I originally worked in industry, so I genuinely come from the business owner's perspective. So for me, it's all about getting great information, having apps and software to do the heavy lifting, so that we can spend more time with businesses and get the best results for them and help them get to where they need to be. So basically, if you hear of people talking about an app stack and they say, what, why have one and what is one? Well, an app stack is basically a culmination of different apps that all work in tandem with each other to basically do the hard work for you and get you the right results without, as Chris says, without having to sit there plugging away with your spreadsheets and your paper forms. We were very lucky that we've got a great app stack. I'm just going to run through some of the ones that we use most, just to give you an idea about the effect that can have on your business and the time saving. It's not just about numbers. That's what we're all about. It is around every part of your business that you could have an app for that would help some form of efficiency in that part of the business. And we've covered marketing, we'll cover finance in these sessions, but there is so much more to go at. So basically, the app stack is there to get the best of breed. It's not necessarily having one system that does everything. It's about having best of breed apps and pieces of software that do what you need it to do. Where to start? Well, there's a thing. Xero now have, I think, in excess of 900 app partners. So it really, really is difficult choosing the right apps. I've put a little magpie on there because a lot of us are guilty of shiny magpie syndrome, and we see a new piece of software and want to jump on it and use it. But the key in choosing the right apps is really, really being very, very clear about what problem you're trying to solve, what you want your process to look like, where you can make the savings, where you can make the efficiencies. Creating a needs, a wants and a nice to have, because there's always those out there that are nice to have, but you don't really need it. It might save a little bit of time, but and have a budget in mind, because software, the trade-off with software is the cost. You get the efficiencies, you get your life back and you get your time back, but there is a cost to it. So you have to be really clear that you don't get really silly with it. We've got one client that really has shiny magpie syndrome and spends a fortune, and we've had to completely rein them in on it because they were just like, oh, I'll try that. And then they forget to cancel the subscriptions and it costs them a lot of money. Really, truly understand what the problem is for you, not what everybody else is using. It's what problem will this app solve for you? What will this software solve for you? Research it. Most software companies will give you a demo, let you play around. They'll give you a 30-day demo, 14-day free trial, whatever. If you partner with your accountant, a lot of the time you can get proper software demos from actually the software guys. Decide and then implement. And I would always say, when you're looking at these types of things, if you're not really sure what you're doing, pay somebody to do it. It is worth its weight in gold. We start with the accountancy package because we're finance. We start with that in the middle of all of our everything that we do is based around our accountancy package. Now, because we're a small practice, we deal with Xero. We've dealt with them for 10 years before really QuickBooks and Sage were a cloud version. We love it. We've stuck with it. It doesn't mean to say you know, that's the only package around. QuickBooks and Sage both do very similar things. It is really down to personal preference. So we start right at the beginning, where how we're going to capture our data. So I've given you a range of data capture software there. We use Dex Prepare. A lot of people might know it as Receipt Bank. It did recently rebrand. We have used Auto Entry. HubDoc is a free version that comes with Xero. So if budget is a problem, HubDoc will do pretty much what you need. It's not quite as good as Dex Prepare, but it's as good as any. It's better than having nothing at all. And Dex Prepare is basically an app where you scan your receipts in, or you can email your receipts in. It's got an invoice fetch, so you can log into things like Amazon, O2, EE, anything that you have to log in and pull a bill down. It will generally allow you to do that, and it auto brings the bills in, so you don't have to log in and find your bills, scan them, email them, and do it. So it saves a whole host of time. Dex Precision is a piece of software that was acquired by Receipt Bank Dex Prepare, and this its old name is Zapier. And basically what that does is it analyzes the data in Xero and gives you a health check and quite a lot of really cool KPIs on how healthy your data is in Xero. Auto Entry is a data scanning invoice collection bank statement conversion software. HubDoc does the same thing. Trip Catcher, if anybody hates doing mileage sheets, you need Trip Catcher in your life. This you can log your mileage, you can use the GPS to track your mileage. It works out the VAT on the fuel element of your mileage claim, which not a lot of people know about, and not everybody's claiming, so that can add up to quite a lot of money. So and Trip Catcher mileage will run straight into Dex Prepare. You can create an expense form, add it to all your other hotel bills, subsistence bills, etc., and you can create one beautiful expense form for each member of your staff, and that goes through as one bill into Xero. You can integrate CRM and quoting software into Xero. HubSpot, great CRM system. There are literally dozens and dozens of different CRM systems that you can use. Again, you've got to do your research, find one that does what you want it to do. We use Practice Ignition for quotes. It's not an our proposals. It's very professional. You can take payments through it. It auto generates our invoicing, so we don't have to sit invoicing for days and days every month. We do also have other clients that use this, mainly service-led clients, but we do also have clients using this piece of software. It isn't necessarily just for accountancy practices. We do have a lot of service-led businesses using this. E-commerce is a big thing. Trying to get your sales off your website, or you deal with Amazon as a, you might use Amazon warehousing and anything like that, trying to pull your sales off, manually input them into a system or put them on a spreadsheet or whatever. You can if you use A2X, A2X is a great piece of software that links some web shops into Xero or QuickBooks or whichever software you decide to use, and basically just downloads all your sales. You can map it to get to the right sales codes. You can it sorts all the VAT out for you. It's absolutely brilliant, and it just does all the work for you. So everything just works and reconciles within Xero. Stock, again, anybody that deals a lot with stock, we've got a different quite a few different stock systems here that you can hook into your accounts program. Again, we do quite a lot of work with Unleashed with our clients. This basically once set up is running livestock figures into Xero, so you've got a true position of your business at any given time. Stock can skew your figures massively if you don't have the right stock figures in, and this works absolutely brilliantly. And you know, consistent margins, no hunting around for stock. It's great. Simpro and Vend and Deer, they all do a similar thing. Vend is also a point of sale system as well. So again, that you can use that for a till system in a retail outlet, and that manages stock in the background. Workflow and time recording, big thing. Things like Workflow Max, Harvest, you can do project management within them as well. They don't just track time on projects. Harvest, time recording, you can filter and log straight back into Xero to do billing, timesheets into payroll. So there's a lot of integrations going on there. Really easy to use, really nice system. Minute Docs is quite a simple product, reasonably cheap, but it does the job on a simple version. And again, there's probably dozens and dozens of time recording apps. There's a big app store on Xero as well, and they'll do the same for QuickBooks as well. Credit control has been a massive, especially in the pandemic, the year we've just had. We've been lovers of Chase, so we're premium partners with Chaser and have been for quite some time. So Chaser is an automated debt collecting system. Basically, it's probably about 25 quid a month for a subscription. But how many credit controllers can you get for that money? And that auto chases every week, every month, however often you want it to chase. It's got some great templates in there that seem to just hit the nail on the head. As people pay, and it's reconciled in Xero, it tells Chaser that bill's paid, and it then sends the customer a thank you note for paying, which is a really nice touch. Again, it's saved thousands of pounds. We had one client who had a debt which was well over 12 months old. He thought he would never get it in. The first time Chaser sent a chase out, it collected the debt that was over 12 months old, which was about £4,000. And he also got £36,000 in 2 weeks early, just on the back of using Chaser. You know, we've done debt collection in-house with that as well, and you know, we've managed to collect some really old debts that business owners thought they would never ever manage to pull in. Banking and payments. This is where Xero comes into its own, really, with integrated bank feeds. It just gets better and better. Anybody that's got a lot of people paying every month, Go cardless direct debit system works hand in hand with Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, and basically as you're billing people out, it drags the amounts into Go cardless, collects the payments from the clients, does all the accounting back into the system, pays all the invoices off, drops the money into your account. Happy days. It's just so easy. Stripe. If you've got a Stripe account, you can put a Stripe link on your invoices within Xero, within QuickBooks, all the cloud packages. And if somebody wants to pay by card, just click on the link, pay by card, pays the invoice off in your system. I've put Iowaka in there because Iowaka have got a new product out at the minute called Iowakapay. And this, again, is an integrated system. It allows you to, it's a link that can go on your invoices. And it gives your clients the option to pay straight away, or it gives your clients the option to pay over 3-month payment plan. The client has to do the application. They have to, the client pays a small interest fee. But basically, once they've clicked the 3-month payment plan, you get your money straight away, and the payment plan is then with Iowaka, not with you. So in terms of offering clients payment plans and getting your money straight away, to help your cash flow, this is a good option. It's a bit like Klarna in the retail world. TransferWise, again, I've put this on the slides because certainly within Xero, if you've got an account with TransferWise and you've got a lot of suppliers to pay every month or every week, you can use TransferWise to do bulk payments. So you literally tick the invoices you want to pay in Xero, and it sends a bulk payment file to TransferWise. You drop one amount of money to TransferWise and it pays all your suppliers. And again, just the fact that you've got the integrated bank feeds just saves so much time. It's got learning tools on it. Xero remembers where things are posted. You can set up bank rules, and it just makes life so much simpler. It just, the time it has saved has just been incredible. Once you've got your bookkeeping done, if you have management accounts prepared, we then go that extra mile and we do reporting and forecasting for clients in really, really nice dashboards. Now, we use Futurely, but we've looked at Fathom, we've used Spotlight in the past, so Spotlight reporting. There's so many different reporting and forecasting tools out there. They're all as good as each other. Again, it's down to personal preference as to what information you want out, what it looks like, but they all do three-way forecasting. They all do really nice dashboards with some really relevant KPIs, and the reporting that comes out now is just on a different level. It's interesting. We were looking at a new client yesterday, and one of our accountants got some existing MI from their current accountant, and we just it was an Excel spreadsheet with a P&L on it, and there was no commentary on it, there was no balance sheet on it, and they charged quite a lot of money to do just that. And it was just, you see the reporting that comes out of these types of products, and it's quick, it's easy, it's accurate, it all hooks into Xero. You're not having to plug in information twice. It just pulls straight through from your accounting package, and it helps, certainly the forecasting tools, they help you get to the next level. They enable you to do what if scenarios, plan out what the business looks like, and it helps you really get to where you want to be. Just a little quote, seeing as how Chris had some on his. The only wrong move when it comes to digital transformation is not to make any move at all. It's constantly moving. It's moving at a massive pace. New things come out all the time. We've been doing this 10 years and we're still learning, and there's still new products coming out. So you never stop learning, you never stop improving, and that's what it's all about, is constantly evolving. So I think to do nothing isn't an option anymore. I think those those accountants certainly in lockdown that weren't digital really struggled to service their clients. We just picked our laptops up and went home and carried on serving. So and I think there are a lot of accountants now that do great digital services, and without that we couldn't have done our jobs last year. Certainly we would have been really stuck. And then once you've got your app stack working beautifully, that's when the magic happens. That's when you grow your business, you get to the next level. You've got information that's accurate. It's got information that that is done in a really timely manner. Efficiencies, it enables you to get on and run your business, and that's basically what it's all about, is being able to not get stuck in the humdrum of data processing. It's getting bits of software that can do all the heavy lifting for you, so you can get on and run your business and do the stuff that you love doing, and the stuff that you got into business to do, and it frees up your time. Just to give you an example of a client that we helped, and this is down to Dex Receipt Bank, and when he first came to us, his father was scanning 300 receipts a month onto a flatbed photocopier, and then PDFing those, creating a spreadsheet to analyze it all out, and then attaching that to a Word document invoice to his client to reclaim his month's expenses. And it took him nearly all day to do that in order to get the invoice out. With scanning everything up to Receipt Bank / Dex, with doing that and creating expense reports, assigning those expense reports then to a customer invoice, and attaching that to the invoice, where the customer that could then drill into the report and see all the PDF original receipts. We got that down to an hour a month, and they didn't believe we could do it, but we've done that consistently now for 4 years. So it really does transform your business. So thank you for listening, and I will hand you back.